How we doing? How we doing? This is Destination Denver, Colorado. So you're thinking about what are the best places near Denver to live? Well, I'm in one of my absolute favorites today, Golden, Colorado. Let's get into it. All right, this is Destination Denver, Colorado. I am your host, Jimmy Everett, and listen, if you're interested in learning all the ins and outs, pros and cons to moving to or around Denver, Colorado, then this is a channel for you. So the subscribe button and notification icon popping up, make sure you click on that so you get updates on new videos that I'm dropping every week. And listen, as much as I love getting a little creative on camera, exploring Colorado, I'm also a licensed mortgage expert covering the entire state of Colorado and working with some of the state's most talented real estate agents. So the number and email popping up, I'm always the person answering your phone calls, answering your emails, answering your texts, there if and when you need me. Now that we have that fun-filled stuff out of the way, let's get to what we're here for, and that is one of the best places to live close to Denver, Colorado, Golden. All right, so Golden, originally called Golden City, was founded in 1859 during the Pikes Peak Gold Rush for you history buffs. Now, it was originally, for about 5 years, the state capital for the state territory of Colorado. But eventually, Denver started to grow, the railroad started running through Denver, and eventually it became the capital. Golden City was shortened to Golden, and now you have this beautiful landscape behind me that we do now. Golden's population sits right around 22,000, but the city continues to expand. So one of the things we're going to talk about is how much it sprawls in some of the newer communities here. Now, to give you some basic details up front, Golden, from a national average standpoint, sits about 50% higher on the national average as far as cost of living. Now, I am a firm believer that numbers can tell you what you want or what you don't want. So yes, 50% compared to the national average, but when you look at communities around Denver, Denver has become, by and large, a more expensive city to live in than your national average. So Golden, in comparison to that, it will be on the higher end of Colorado's cost of living, but it's not extreme necessarily compared to what you're gonna find as you get closer to the city. One thing that can be a bit higher is home prices and rents here in Golden. So the median home price for sale as of the making of this video was sitting at $741,000. Appreciation in Golden has averaged around 9% a year over the last decade, but over the last 12 months, it's been around 21.5% just in Golden. One of the big reasons for that, there's only so much room. Like I mentioned, the population here being around 22,000, it's a pretty small town. There's only so many houses, and some of the houses are immaculate. I'm gonna show you some of that in the B-roll. So as you're seeing this community, you're seeing a lot of people who wanna move here, not as many homes for sale, so that appreciation and the cost basis for your homes, and for rent for that matter, goes up. And one thing I've definitely seen over the last handful of years is a lot more apartment buildings, condos, townhomes being built in Golden, and you're really seeing a change in that. Golden used to be, when I was growing up, and even in the last decade or so, a community primarily of a lot of single family homes, a lot of older neighborhoods. But Golden, as it continues to expand, I mentioned that sprawl, you're seeing a lot of new communities and a lot of homes that are just knocking people's socks off. So Golden runs along Clear Creek Canyon and Clear Creek. And so as Clear Creek, which is, by the way, a great place to go tubing, as long as you don't have loud motorcycles riding behind you, but it's a great place to bring your friends, park a vehicle farther up the canyon, throw on your inner tube, grab maybe a little floating cooler of some of your favorite beverages, and cruise down that canyon. Amazing for a summer day. But Clear Creek Canyon rolls down the canyon right into Golden. In fact, you might be able to see the edge of it, but I'm definitely going to show you some of Coors Brewery and talk about it. But anytime you have a Coors product, including Coors Light, AKA Colorado Kool-Aid, you are tasting the fresh waters of Clear Creek. And yes, I know that we just talked about people inner tubing down it and then it getting turned into beer. I promise you their filtration's amazing. Don't worry about it. Nobody's peeing on their inner tube. They're holding it, they're saving it. So obviously, based on that comment, yes, Golden is home to the Coors Brewery, has been for well over 100 years, Adolph Coors. Finding it, perfect location. And Coors, although it has been sold, it's no longer owned by the Coors family, remains the largest single brewery in the entire world. The plant is massive. I'm going to show you some video of it, but you can get plenty of video of it because it just goes and goes and goes. In fact, they're right now in the middle of a massive remodel and massive construction adding to it. So while Coors no longer owns it, and now that it's Molson, their headquarters is now located in Chicago, but the plant still remains here and is still one of the biggest employers in the state of Colorado, and certainly Golden. Plus my brother-in-law works there, so it works really well. Get a few extra beers every month. And while I'm sure not all of their students end up working for Coors, I'm sure they have other ambitions, but Golden is also home to the Colorado School of Mines, which is one of the most prestigious engineering and science universities in the United States, quite possibly the world, but I'm going to stick with the United States. But we're very proud of the Colorado School of Mines. It's a gorgeous campus, just a great place to visit. They do a lot there, not just obviously for the students, but for the community. And while I'm a bit older now and past my college years, it's got to be one of the funner campuses to be on. Students love it. The ones that I've talked to rave about the fact that obviously they're going to an incredible school, but Golden is just a great, it's not a college town, but it gives you all the vibes and all the benefits of a really cool college town. I could have just sounded really hip in that moment, or I could sound like an old man past his prime. You just take what you want from that. All right, we certainly got to have some fun, give you some little fun facts about Golden, again, reverting back. So, if you love Jolly Ranchers, you should appreciate Golden, because that's where Jolly Ranchers were created. Probably the most hilarious thing is that I have lived around Golden pretty much my entire life, and I didn't know that until I was researching this video. By the way, apple is the best Jolly Rancher flavor. Like, just know that. Golden is also home to the Colorado Railroad Museum, which is, just an interesting place to check out as far as the railroad, how it changed our nation, everything about that. But it's also great to just bring your family. Around Christmas, they've got a great ride where you go in, they have Santa, the whole thing, and it's a Northern Express vibe where they have the bells and the trinkets, and if you love that movie, it's my niece's favorite, North Pole Express. I'm saying it wrong, and someone's gonna watch this video and unsubscribe because they don't like that I don't know the name of the movie right off the top of my head. But Polar Express, I'm sorry, I'm a failure right now, don't hate me. But they have a Polar Express ride around Christmas. It's just great for the whole family. Serve you a little food, some hot chocolate. You get on their train, which goes around the museum yard. It's just cool. I always like to embarrass myself about 17 times through a video. I think we're at like 12 so far, so we're in good shape. And because Golden was founded during the gold rush, you would imagine it has some Old West aspects to it. So William Buffalo Bill Cody, who was a famous Old West showman and horse trainer, a horse rider, is buried not too far from here up on Lookout Mountain. Just in case you randomly want to check out Buffalo Bill's grave, they just make sure that we always say that. Is it as cool as the fact that like Doc Holliday is buried up at Glenwood Springs, which we'll eventually get to Glenwood Springs? I mean, Buffalo Bill, Doc Holliday, but still, check it out. And then as far as schools, Golden, at least as far as the hub of Golden, has 4 elementary schools. It has a junior high, and coincidentally, again, a fun fact that I knew, forgot, and had to relearn is that Golden High School, their senior high here, is the oldest high school in the state of Colorado. So pretty cool to think about. And one of my favorite high schools, when I was going to Green Mountain not too far from here, I always enjoyed going to Golden for different events, whether it was sports, debate, art, whatever. Golden High School, the oldest in the state of Colorado. As far as those schools, just on some statistics for you, Golden averages about 18 students for every 1 teacher, for those of you that will impact. Now, if we're gonna talk about some things that locals that I've talked to and people that visit Golden tend to say are cons for Golden. One, your commute time. So Golden is pretty close to Denver. Downtown Golden, you can get to Denver in 20 minutes, but Golden, I mentioned it sprawls. It heads northwest up towards Boulder. So there are parts of Golden where you're gonna be 35 to 45 minutes from Denver. So again, you've got close to Denver here and a little bit farther from Denver there. I'm pointing off screen because neither you or I can see that. Second con that they mentioned, and we already talked about it, the fact that Golden can be a bit pricey. higher as far as the Colorado average, certainly higher than national average. Home prices, rent prices, can be on the steep. As far as going out for a night, restaurants, bars, things of that nature, humble opinion, just my own little personal survey, it's about par. I don't think that Golden, from a night standpoint or from just an expense as far as your groceries, things of that nature, are too much more extreme than any other community that I have visited or talked to people about. And then the last, and this is one that I always noticed but didn't really think about until I started talking to people that live up this way. And that is, so Golden sits in a canyon, right? We've got mountains to either side of us. So during the winter, just kind of get used to the fact that that sun is going to peak behind the canyon a little earlier than it might if you're closer to Denver, and obviously not between two canyons. So your sunset in Golden is around 3:45 as opposed to 4:30 if you're closer to Denver. Now that we've gotten through this fun-filled stuff, I mean, I can't just tell you about Golden. I got to go show you a couple things personally. So let's go check that out. So this is Washington Avenue, which is the hub, the heart of Golden. A lot of these businesses have been around for decades, some of them over 100 years from the foundation of Golden. It's a great place to bring families, great place to hang out, just a beautiful area in general. And Golden continues to develop it. There's a lot of new stuff that seems to come in every year. I got to show you this here. This is one of my favorites. So I'm coming up on their river walk, Clear Creek, right? So you've got this great walk down here. You got the fish, got people walking their dogs, people rafting down through the city, or town, if you will. And this is one of my favorite things to do. Again, have somebody park farther up the canyon, jump on your tube, cruise down. Water's probably freezing right now, but you know, summertime, it'll warm up. And Golden has done a really good job of developing their downtown. Obviously, Washington Avenue has always been the hub, and you've got the Colorado School of Mines nearby, but you also have newer townhomes like you're seeing all around me. And man, if I was in my 20s or early 30s, or even today, I'd happily live in this community. See people out walking, they've got their dogs, they're exercising, they're on their bikes. You got the creek right behind me. Walking over to Golden Mills, which I can't wait to show you. Just an amazing area to hang out in or live. And listen, I don't want you looking at me the whole time, so I gotta flip this around and show you. On the other side of the creek, they've got this great park. Great for dogs, families, kids, right in the heart of Golden. If I could walk on water, which I cannot, I would cross over and show you, but I'm gonna get a closer look here in a minute. But amazing, and man, right from these townhomes, that's your view. That wouldn't suck. I say from the apartments there, not there to the apartments. Don't get creepy. So you know you're in a great community where you're surrounded by people on bikes, and there's a grandma behind me walking her granddaughter. Awesome. So there you've got the creek, and then one of my favorite places in Golden behind me, which is the Golden Mills. So Golden Mills is one of those great places where you walk in, you get a punch card, and you can go around filling your glass with beer, wine, whatever you're into. I'd walk through it, but it's filled with people, and it'd be a little embarrassing to walk through with my camera at the moment, but you get a pretty good idea. And if you can hear that, it's dog friendly. You can't beat a bar where dogs are allowed on a nice, well, cloudy but warm day. All right, so just across the street from Golden Mills is, of course, the Coors Brewery. Massive. I know I've already told you about that, but one thing that I'm really excited for, I'm gonna flip this camera around so you can see it, is the early developments of Coors Riverwalk. So they're building this, they've got the bridge up, it's gonna curve down there below. And so what Coors has realized is that as many people are coming to take the tour of the plant, now they could just have a river walk where you can go down, taste the different brews, get some food, the whole experience. probably a year or two away from completion, but it's gonna make Golden fantastic. All right, so what a great way to finish your day. Take a leisurely stroll down good old Washington Avenue, which when you get your butt out to Golden, you should check out. And when you do, that's the perfect time to hit up that phone number or that email popping up at the bottom of the screen. Always the person answering your phone calls, answering your texts, answering your emails, there when you need me. This is Destination Denver, Colorado. I am your host, Jimmy Everts. This has been the best places to live close to Denver, Golden Edition. Until next time, peace. It's Beer 30.